It is my pleasure to join you all here at the University of Cambridge for this discussion organized by the Center for Geopolitics. I'm very happy to see this many students here. It reminds me of the good times when I was a professor. I must say that universities always have a special place in my heart. I was a trained academic and a former professor. Some of the best times of my life were spent at universities. Being in the UK actually has brought back quite a lot of wonderful memories. I believe universities are the incubators of our future leaders. In classes, students have the opportunity to develop a keen awareness of our world. Through discussions and debates, students can learn and reflect on the issues and challenges of our time, and then develop their way and methods to resolve them, making the world a better place for them and our future generations. Every generation has its challenges. Our generation is now facing the greatest challenges of our time. As you know, 2024 has been called the super year of elections. Citizens from more than 70 countries went to the polls to elect their leaders and parliamentarians. This means 2024 was also a year that brought dramatic changes in leadership and legislative dynamics across the democratic world. And this new geopolitical landscape can be defined by the uncertainty and unpredictability surrounding the existing trade and security orders. The uncertainty stems from the shifting world order, as all the assumptions about alliances and the role of major powers are now being called into question. Moreover, around the world, the authoritarian threat looms larger than ever. What this means is that democracies will have to be even more committed to tackling the uncertainties and challenges that have emerged after such changes. To do that, it will require great wisdom from the newly elected leadership and collaboration from all in the society. Authoritarian regimes, on the other hand, are able to maintain consistency and power due to their undemocratic nature. In recent years, with democratic backsliding taking place around the world, authoritarians have become stronger and more confident. Their leaders are now convinced that they are more adaptive to changes. They have also been colluding in the pursuit of their self-interested and expansionist agendas while influencing domestic politics in democracies. This is the current state of global politics. This also means that democracies have to dedicate even more time and effort to securing our critical and rightful place in this world. Instead of immersing in complacency and ceding our positions to authoritarian regimes. And as domestic issues divert our attentions, they also make working together harder, yet more important than ever. Now is a consequential time for outreach and adaptation. The rules of engagement have changed, so our collective strategies must evolve with that. I'm sure that we can all agree that authoritarian aggression should not be encouraged, and compromises with authoritarians will only embolden and encourage more aggressive behavior and demands. Throughout history, there have been many examples of this. We learned this difficult lesson from Europe during the Second World War. We thought if we reason and perhaps compromise a bit with authoritarian powers, we would be able to secure peace, and that authoritarian regimes would stop their aggressive stance. Consequently, we learned that was not the case. The authoritarians did not reduce their aggressive stand, but instead became even more daring. History taught us that a strong, united democratic front is required to deter authoritarians from threatening our security and democratic way of life. For example, it has been 3 years since democracies worked together to help Ukraine defend against Russia's unlawful invasion. But supporting Ukraine is more than just standing up for our shared democratic values. It is also important for our own security and economic prosperity. In addition to the challenges from authoritarians, we're also finding ourselves having to navigate a new world order after the so-called the super year of elections of 2024. The results of these elections have reminded us that the economic relationships and security alliances that have been around for decades are in critical need of rebalancing and redistribution of responsibilities. Particularly, President Trump and the current US administration have been calling for their democratic allies to take greater responsibility and make more investments in the security of their own respective regions. This should be taken as reminders for democracies around the world to work even harder together to make sure their own security is safeguarded. In other words, the Democratic Alliance now means more than before. And the collective security in the Indo-Pacific and Europe, while still relevant to the US interests, also became even more critical to global peace and security. What we are going through now is a process of readjustment to increase individual and collective capabilities and redistribute responsibilities among partners. One might feel that the US stand towards its democratic allies is harsher than before, but this can also be taken as a reminder that security is a collaborative work with everyone involved. While authoritarian regimes are working with each other to further their expansionist agenda, democracies need to be even more united. Defending democracy has a price, and it wouldn't be a free ride for anyone. In this case, Taiwan stands ready to be a partner and contribute in making us more resilient in the midst of these challenges. In Taiwan, we know what resilience looks like because we understand all too well the danger posed by those who seek to exploit democracy's imperfections. In the past, our people experienced the ill effects of authoritarian rule, and now we are experiencing the much intensified threats and intimidation from across the Taiwan Strait, almost on a daily basis. The PRC thought by routinized cyber attacks, hacking, and military intrusion, the people of Taiwan would either be debilitated by fear or become complacent. This was certainly not the case. On the contrary, the Taiwanese people use these experiences as the basis to build their resilience. Resilience has helped us defend our elections from authoritarian interference. It helped us weather the challenges posed by the pandemic. It also helped us counter information manipulation while making our people more informed. Resilience also comes in many forms, from individual to collective, from economic to security. In the past 8 years, Taiwan has proactively built its resilience on multiple fronts. On the defense side, during my presidency, Taiwan's defense budget rose by over 80%. At the same time, Taiwan's GDP rose almost 40%. Taiwan's troops also received improved combat training and equipment to enhance their battlefield awareness and command and control. This was the most organized and systemic defense investment Taiwan has ever made, and we will continue to make in the coming years. The current government has also made the commitment to increase this defense budget to 3% of GDP through the submission of a special budget. I'm sure the people of Taiwan know the importance of defense and our own responsibility to defend ourselves. We'll surely continue investing to move fast to make Taiwan defendable for all purposes. Taiwan has also fortified its digital infrastructure to withstand cyber threats and has coordinated with civil societies to counter information manipulation and cognitive warfare. Taiwan is indispensable to regional and global security, not only because Taiwan is a major contributor to the global supply chains of technology products that are of strategic importance. It is also because Taiwan is strategically located. Without Taiwan, the region would be less secure and less defendable. Democracies like the United States, Japan, and Korea will have to invest even more in the region to counter China. As the global order undergoes transformation, Taiwan has remained a steadfast partner to the international community. Taiwan's reliability is not measured only by slogans, but by our actions, even in the face of extraordinary pressure. We're living through a profound transition in the global order, where long-standing assumptions are challenged. The world, as we know it now, is being remade. But amid these uncertainties, we should be clear on one thing, that is, democracy, resilience, and partnerships are the foundation of our collective future. I also want to emphasize here that threats of coercion will never shake Taiwan's determination to engage and contribute to the world. I want to end my talk by expressing my thanks again to the Center for Geopolitics for hosting me. I also want to thank all of you for taking the time to be here. I want to tell you that Taiwan has many great universities, and I strongly encourage you to find a study abroad program to come to Taiwan in person to meet our students and our wonderful people, and to have some experience of our democracy. Thank you very much. Thank you.